the proverbial Trump crap indictment just hit the fan. Like, literally, the grand jury screwed up, and they posted the results before the grand jury even voted on it. This can't get any more crazy than it is right now. Okay, I'm pulling up some Vivek Ramaswamy actually posted on Twitter that here we go again. Let's see if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it, but on Twitter, Vivek just posted this. Here we go again. Another disastrous Trump indictment. Is downright pathetic that Fulton County, that's the which one? I can't wait to swear in Donald Trump. That's the indictment there, right? So they posted the indictment on its website even before the grand jury had finished conveying. Since the 4 prosecutions against Trump are using novel and untested legal theories, it's fair game for him to do the same in defense. Immediately file a motion to dismiss for a constitutional due process violation for publicly issuing an indictment before a grand jury had actually signed one. He should make a strong argument on these grounds, and it would send a powerful message to the ever-expansive prosecutorial police state. As someone who is running for president against Trump, I'd volunteer to write an amicus brief to the court myself. Prosecutors should not be deciding U.S. presidential elections. One more time for the people in the back. Prosecutors who have been funded by George Soros should not be... Man, that's crazy. I can't even. They should not be deciding U.S. presidential elections. Very good, Vivek. Vivek, I think it's Vivek, right? Okay. If they're so overzealous that they commit constitutional violations, then the cases should be thrown out and they should be held accountable. This is insanity. So Vivek just posted the grand jury. They're freaking charging him with the RICO Act, which is the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, like the mafia and all kinds of drug traffickers and all this. Solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. So they're charging him with the RICO Act, which is one of the most serious felonies that you could get. It's actually, the RICO Act is a federal crime, if I'm not mistaken. It's not just a serious felony. It is a federal crime. Oh, okay. Conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer? What? This is absurd. Conspiracy to commit forgery in the first. Conspiracy to commit false statements in writings. Conspiracy to commit filing false documents. Why? Because he asked Nancy Pelosi for the National Guard 3 freaking times? Okay. Conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. Conspiracy to commit false statements and writings. Oh, are they fact-checking him? Is that what the... Okay. Apparently his constitutional rights and his political speeches don't mean anything, which by law, by our Constitution, those are protected. Those are seriously protected. False statements in writing, solicitation of violation by oath of a public officer, false statements in writing. So here's all the indictments. Here's all the dates. January 2nd. Oh my God. Okay. This is ridiculous. Jack Porso also, this is a video, you guys. This is, let's see. It's Real American Voices, Human Events with Jack Probisk.
He's readying his final fight. He wants to make sure that Trump never steps into the White House again.
Fucking turtle.
All that hype about Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter's Elon Musk holding a cage fight appears to have been a PR move orchestrated by Musk. Zuck said over the weekend that it's time to move on. And celebrity blogger Joe Rogan is already looking to the 2028 presidential election, and he's picking Tucker Carlson to win. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
Okay, this is like 58 minutes. I hope that we don't have to play the whole video, because I want to see the Mitch McConnell shit. Man, that dude's evil. How do you like fast forward this?
We are in a fifth generational conflict. For every lie they tell, we're gonna get in their face and yell two truths.
This is Human Events with your host, Jack Posobiec.
Deliver us from evil.
At the time of me writing this next song, it was based on a true story. It still ain't far from the truth, but I got a couple bucks now.
We just did that reaction video, you guys. I just released it right before this. Statement. Here's a statement from Donald Trump's attorneys, Jennifer Little. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office has once again shown that they have no respect for the integrity of the grand jury process. This was, this is his due process rights, you guys, and they just violated and shit all over them. This is not a simple administrative mistake. A proposed indictment should only be in the hands of the district attorney's office, yet it somehow made its way to the clerk's office and was assigned a case number and a judge before the grand jury even deliberated. Where's the due process at? Okay. This is emblematic of the persuasive and glaring constitutional violations which have plagued this case from its very inception. By Drew Findling and Jennifer Little. Wow, y'all. I hope and pray that they have to throw this out because they just screwed up. Prosecutorial misconduct. Our voices will not be silenced. Let's retweet that one. Case dismissed. I think case dismissed should be the least of their concerns. Georgia court. Here's another one, you guys. Georgia court briefly publishes, then removes document about potential Trump charges. The Fulton County has implemented security measures around the Lewis R. Slayton courthouse, and the city braces for a potential criminal indictment of former President Donald J. Trump. The 2-page docket report posted on the Fulton County Court's website suggests that Trump may be charged with offenses such as racketeering, conspiracy, which you need more than one person. You can't charge somebody with conspiracy if it's only one person. And false statements. There's nothing false. So when are we going to hit Obama with that same thing, and Hillary Clinton when they said that the election was tampered with? And that they could tamper with the elections, whomever is in power. I mean, I'm pretty sure Katie Hobbs was on the Board of Elections in Arizona. She didn't even debate Carrie Lake. And all of a sudden, in the dead of the night, she gets a whole bunch more votes. You guys, I can't even. This is a sham. This is a shame. The Fulton County Clerk's Office has not commented on the docket report. Wow. This is absolutely disgusting. Here's the PBS, that's woke. I'm trying to find a non-woke article. You could always go to Truth Social because that's where you can get the truth on anything. Oh boy, you guys. They do him the most dirty out of anybody. I can't believe that they would still allow this to go on, knowing that docket should have never reached the clerk's office. So what are you saying? So you know that you're charging him with the grand jury. When the grand jury deliberates, they deliberate on what charges they're going to charge him with, but they already know what they're charging him with. That is a violation of your due process constitutional rights. I don't think it can get any worse for them right now because you're openly violating Trump's constitutional rights. I don't know, you guys. This is pretty bad. I'm trying to pull up the live stream link so I can see your comments. Violation of your due process. Due process. Here you guys are. Hello. Well, You know, I'm very thankful for people like Benny Johnson for reporting on this so quickly. Like, he is on it. As soon as this hit, he was out there. And I'm like, no fucking way. Yes, fucking way. How do you guys feel about, yeah, why don't you, yeah, why not charge him with blowing a fart in church, ripping the tags off the mattress, not stopping for 4 seconds at the stop sign instead of the 3 that we're supposed to. Let's go, Brandon. I think that this is absolutely this absolutely shows that this is a witch hunt. The grand jury decides what charges you're getting. You have to be indicted by the grand jury. Do I have to pull up this indictment papers again? Because they're fucking ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous. One more time. So the case status is open. The judicial officer, Carnesale Rochelle. Oh, these liberals are loving this, but they don't even realize that they just effed up big time. Violation of the Georgia RICO Act. This is absurd. Absurd. It's absolutely absurd. I really like what Vivek said. He said, even though I'm running against Trump, I'd volunteer to write an amicus brief to the court myself. The only prosecutors I feel like would be able to decide who gets to run for president and who doesn't are the ones that have been seriously paid off, corrupted by money. I think that they should have to throw this case out. You screwed up. And this is what happens, okay? It's called karma, right? It's called karma. God don't like ugly. So he will inadvertently make you F up so that you see and that you're found out. I can't even. I think, hey, Queensbee Art Hive, I just missed you by like mere seconds before. I think you're right. I think arrests need to start happening already. I think every person on that grand jury, that forewoman or the four-witch, I think she should be absolutely ripped off. How is she even still on the grand jury? Going on, let's see, Georgia grand jury. Okay. Georgia's Get Trump grand jury accidentally confirms the charges are bunk. This is pretty big. I just inadvertently clicked on this. All right, the Federalist. Oops. Georgia's Get Trump grand jury forewoman accidentally confirms the recommended charges are bunk. The grand jury's conclusion flowed from what the DA presented to the Fulton County jurors, a case built on lies about a telephone call. Jury in Georgia Trump inquiry recommended multiple indictments. Forewoman says. The New York Times blared with its midday breaking news headline on Tuesday. But it is what followed that revealed the real story. That the grand jury recommended bogus charges based on the Fulton County District Attorney's misrepresentation of evidence. Oh, my. We definitely started with the first phone call to the Secretary Raffensperger that was so publicized. Emily Kors. That is the witch that can't wait to swear in Donald Trump. The forewoman for the special purpose grand jury special purpose. Said, noting that prosecutors played the recording for jurors the first day. I will tell you that if the judge releases the recommendations, it's not going to be some giant plot twist, Cora continues. You probably have a fair idea what may be in there. Of course. Yes. Yes, we do. Bunk. Since Fulton County's Democrat District Attorney Fani Willis first sought to impanel a special purpose grand jury, special purpose. Yeah, they're special, all right. Special ed. Because it can only make recommendations and cannot indict. Again, because it can only make recommendations and it cannot indict. To assist in her investigation into any coordinated attempts to unlawfully alter the outcome of the 2020 elections in its state. She has misrepresented the substance of Donald Trump's January 2nd telephone conversation with Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Just as the Times did in its article yesterday, Willis falsely stated that during Trump's conversation with Raffensperger, the then president requested the secretary find 11,780 votes in the former president's favor. But as I have been forced to detail time and time again because the corrupt media continue to lie about the conversation, the transcript of the call established that Trump did not request that Raffensperger find 11,780 votes. Period. It never happened. Rather, during that telephone conversation between Trump's legal team and the Secretary of State's office, Trump's lawyers explained to Raffensperger that the court is not acting on our petition. They haven't even assigned a judge. Now, I remember that when he was saying, look, man, this is not right. All of these people that are voting who are dead, all of the ballot harvesting, all of a sudden in the dead of the night, Joe Biden gets way more votes than he should have. Everybody that I know from Georgia voted Donald Trump. I'm just going to speak and say what I know to be facts here, right? They wouldn't even assign them a judge. They wouldn't even look at their motions to say, hey, you need to look into this election. You're allowed to do that if you are a presidential candidate. You're allowed to do that if you're involved in a presidential election or any type of gubernatorial election. You're allowed to do that. How many other people have done that? A lot. I can't even. There's been an instance where, hey, they screwed up. They found the mix up and somebody else was president. They screwed up. I think it was between Bush and, or Clinton and Gore, or Bush and Dole, or it was something. But Donald Trump does it. He gets indicted. Okay. It has become, it was all because the Fulton County judge responsible for assigning a judge to hear Trump's election lawsuit, ironically, the same judge, Chris Brasher, who authorized Willis' special purpose grand jury, held up his legal challenge that Trump's legal team reached out to Raffensperger requesting the Secretary of State investigate the evidence of widespread violations of election law. That is nothing. That is not something that he's within his rights to do that. The transcript of Trump's call with Raffensperger confirms this fact, with lawyers for the then president ticking off the numerous categories of illegal votes of which they had concrete evidence. Some 25 categories. Like they mean like dead people, people that have already voted a few times, people that aren't citizens, people that aren't registered to vote. There was 25 categories. This is bad. This is so bad. This is exactly how they cheated an election. Man. Here the DA appears to have pushed a second falsehood, with Willis reportedly asserting in a subpoena that during that call, Trump's lawyer, Cleta Mitchell, parroted claims of voter fraud. Mitchell did no such thing. She was not pushing claims over voter fraud, but instead wanted the Secretary of State's office to investigate violations of Georgia's election law. The grand jury, however, only knew the facts Willis decided to share with the group. The jurors who come from all walks of life, including the 30-year-old unemployed forewoman, also needed to rely on the DA's office to decipher the meaning of any criminal statutes. They could have researched them themselves and stood up and say, this is a witch hunt, this is wrong, but they did not. And from Coors' statements to the press, we know that the prosecutor's office focused the grand jury's attention on Trump's telephone conversations with Raffensperger, opening the proceedings by playing a recording of the call. But the transcript of that call has been released, and it confirms that both Trump never asked Raffensperger to find him the votes, and that his legal team asked the Secretary of State office to investigate the evidence of illegal voting. Yet the DA framed the case as one about fraud, with the grand jury writing its report that it's heard extensive testimony on the subject of alleged election fraud from poll workers, investigators, technical experts, and state of Georgia employees and officials. What more could they ask of him to just ask to investigate this? When we have all of these people going on the record and saying, hey, this fucking election is fraud. We have people saying this that worked for the Board of Elections, and they're going to charge Donald Trump? Wow. Anything to get him not from running. And it's so funny because anything and everything that comes out about Hunter Biden, boom, Trump gets another lawsuit and another indictment. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. As well as from persons still claiming that such fraud took place and concluding by a unanimous vote that no widespread fraud took place in the Georgia 2020 presidential election that could result in overturning that election. So, the grand jury's view that perjury may have been committed by one or more witnesses testifying before it, it's meaningless. And that Coors said the special purpose grand jury recommended more charges and that the list is not a short one. Meaning those conclusions flowed from the case Willis presented to the Fulton County jurors, a case built on deception about a telephone call. Very good, Margot Cleveland. This came from the Federalist. The Federalist. I'm sorry. Here you go. Here's the link, you guys. I'll link it in the live chat right now. There it is. All you have to do is search the Federalist .com and go under the latest breaking news. This is tragic. As somebody who's been falsely accused, right? I was falsely accused. I defended myself against an ex, right? And I had to defend myself because I was being assaulted. I was being choked. Their life was being choked out of me. I grabbed a weapon, right? Never mind the fact that I had handprints around my throat. My eyes were swollen shut. When the police asked me, because, of course, I'm Italian. I grew up in Cleveland. My family taught me to never call the police. So I didn't. But he did, after beating my ass. So guess who was arrested? Me, for felonious assault. Thank God that grand jury came back with a no bill, meaning after they heard my case, the grand jury indicted me for felonious assault. I almost faced up to 8 years in prison for that one at 19 years old. Believe me, it's petrifying going in front of these strangers. And you pray to God that they believe you, right? You praying like, oh my God, my life is in their hands. And if they don't believe me, even if you go up there and tell the honest to God's truth, you swear your hand on a Bible, Your life, your freedom is in their hands. I've never been so scared in my life. Thank God. Thank God. By me testifying the truth, they saw through it and no-billed me, meaning not guilty, goodbye charges. But since I was still arrested for that, it still shows up on an arrest record. But the grand jury came back with a no bill. But I'll tell you what, it is that easy for a grand jury and a district attorney to indict you for something that you didn't do. So I feel him on this one. But they're hitting him with the RICO Act and everything else. It's not fair. It's not. They're literally charging him with the only offenses that will guarantee that he cannot run for president again. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. What's up, guys? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. It took me a long time to be okay. I'll tell you that much. Because when you have your arresting officer sitting on the bench with you, waiting to go in to testify with the grand jury, he's going, you're going to prison. I'm going to make sure of it. And I'm going, do you have a daughter? What if your daughter's boyfriend was beating her ass, choking her out, blackened her eyes so bad that they're swollen shut? She had handprints around her neck and she grabbed a knife to protect herself. Didn't even do any collateral damage or anything worthy of a felonious assault charge. What would you do if that was your daughter? Would you be telling her you're going to prison? So it was an experience that re-traumatized me over and over and over again until I got the no bill. And at that age, my parents couldn't afford an attorney or anything, so I had to have a public pretender who works for the public defender works for the prosecutor's office. Yeah. That was being a 19-year-old kid, I was petrified. I was like, they're telling me if I'm convicted, I can go to prison for 3 to 8 years. They're telling him he's going to go for up to 400 years. Like, I know it's apples to oranges, but I can empathize with him in a way because I know I was falsely accused myself. I was falsely arrested, falsely accused, right? And it was really a bad case because stupid me, I get back together by then, right? Him and I do. And he's testifying against me while we're still together. Needless to say, thank God that's been long over with. It's so crazy how the world has changed, though, since then, right? In just a few short years, this is what we are all facing. Like, it's unbelievable to me that a United States president who put these policies in place to help Americans out. I don't even know how many billions of dollars have gone over to Ukraine. I think it's over $100 billion by now. I've never seen such crooked, fucking corrupt shit in my life. And we're like sitting ducks because if we stand up and say something or try to do anything, we'll be sitting in federal prison for a few years with no charges like the other January 6th people. I don't know. I hope that we can, I pray that we can get through this, you guys. I pray that we can get through this. I pray for President Trump that he gets through this because I don't know if you guys remember. Have you seen that woman? Have you seen her? Georgia. 4-person interview. It's on a main search. Like, there's a couple of these videos. I mean, look at this chick. Look at her crazy face.
We are starting in the state of Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has yet to say whether or not she will seek indictments in her sprawling criminal investigation into former President Donald Trump and his allies' efforts to subvert the 2020 election. But today, one of the grand jurors in that, Emily Kors, the jury's forewoman, she is speaking out. NBC News' Blaine Alexander sat down with Kors earlier this.
You know what, you guys, when have you ever seen a jury forewoman or foreman talking about a case before the indictment ever happened? When? Name it. Because I've never seen it before, ever. I'm over here going, y'all don't see this. And if anybody's okay with this, man, if you think that they can't do the same thing to you, oh, yes, they can. They can even kill you. Like that.
This afternoon for her first television interview. And she dropped a whole lot of hints.
Look at this bitch is happy about it.
Did the grand jury recommend indictments of multiple people?
Yes. I will tell you, it's not a short list. I mean, we saw 75 people, and there are 6 pages of the report cut out.
So we're talking about more than a dozen people?
I would say that.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust nobody that's got that foam shit in the side of their mouth, man. You see that shit? It's in the corner of her mouth. Like she's rabid, man. I swear this chick is a product of incest. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She's got an uncle dad. Definitely. Or a cousin brother.
Report cut out.
So we're talking about more than a dozen people?
Look at that white shit on the corner of her mouth. Man.
I would say that. Yes.
Are these recognizable names? Names that people would know?
There are certainly names that you would recognize. Yes. There definitely are some names that you expect.
The grand jury forewoman telling NBC Today that the Georgia panel recommended that over a dozen people be indicted. A dozen is a lot. And on the one question that we are all wondering about, did the special grand jury recommend an indictment against the former president? Take a listen.
Did the grand jury recommend an indictment of former President Trump?
I'm not going to speak on exact indictments.
Fucking creep.
Would we be surprised? Are there bombshells of who is
I
being
don't
recommended for indictment?
I don't think that there are any giant plot twists.
Okay, so you're charging a former U.S. president with the RICO Act, and you wouldn't say that's a plot twist? I'm sorry, but this is shocking to all of us. I think somebody at the clerk's office is stand up, and I think they're like, I'm fucking blowing the lid off of this. They know what's right and what's wrong, and they know the law. So they were like, you know what, man? I got denied that promotion. Fani is a bitch to me in the lunchroom. Okay, Fani. Got your fucking number. This right here, she has gone on numerous media circuits, right? They've had numerous segments. You think that this hasn't been planned? The whole thing has been planned. The election has been planned. January 6th has been planned. And these indictments have been planned. Trump called Mike DeWine and said, hey, make sure that everything's kosher with the votes and everything else, too. He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to question the outcomes of the election. Anybody who's a candidate is allowed to do that. Man, this is a witch hunt. This is a witch. She is a self-proclaimed witch. And here, look. Can you trust this girl? Because I cannot. And due to this should have been thrown out. This should have never been able to see the light of day.
Coming. I don't think that there are any, like,
kangaroo
giant
court. Yep.
That's not the way I expected this to
Jeffrey,
go at all.
I agree.
I don't think that's in store for anyone.
So nothing that would surprise people who have been following this.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Probably not. I wouldn't want to characterize anyone else's reaction, of course, but so that was one we heard a lot in testimony. But probably not. It probably wouldn't shock you.
Okay, so you're just admitting that everybody that is on that jury, that grand jury, they're not shocked by this. In fact, they've been expecting this. This is a kangaroo court. They handpicked all liberals. A jury is supposed to be random. A jury, you know, not one person in this country does not know who Donald Trump is. The media has set it up to where you hate him and everything else, blah, 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 blah. The lies after lies after lies after lies, the spins after spins that they've done. Everybody, usually on a grand jury, you have to recuse yourself if you know the person. You have to recuse yourself if you've heard about the case or if you've watched it on the news. This was planned from day one. Well, before day one, I would say right around the 2020 mark, before the 2020 mark.
I would not expect you to be too shocked, no.
And that includes of the former president, potentially.
Potentially, it might.
It's hard to parse that one out. Again,
no, it's
on
not.
The subject of a potential Trump indictment, Coors was asked today, this time by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, about Trump's claim that the grand jury's report totally exonerated him.
First of all, that shirt is fucking ugly. Sorry, not sorry. I had to say that.
In response, Coors rolled her eyes and burst out laughing. Did he really say that? She asked. Oh, that's fantastic. That's phenomenal. I love it.
Okay, back that up again. Back that up. So she rolled her eyes and she laughed at him saying, could this potentially be thrown out? Well, after the faux pas today, I'm not so sure, Miss Coors, that you're going to be as confident in that statement. Fucking bitch, man. You'd like to play poker with her? I'd like to get in the octagon with her.
About Trump's claim that the grand jury's report totally exonerated him. In response, Coors rolled her eyes and burst out laughing. Did he really say that? She asked. Oh, that's fantastic. That's phenomenal. I love it. So
the media just has no fucking idea what they've just done. I hope that Trump's lawyers grab up every fucking last one of these and throws it at him and says, you know what? Done. Juror misconduct, bias, conflict of interests. Oh my God. Keeps getting better for Trump, honestly.
Make of that what you will. We also learned in Coors' NBC News interview that Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, did in fact testify to the special grand jury for an hour and a half. This is information we did not know previously. Coors further revealed that many witnesses who came to testify before the grand jury did so having already been granted immunity.
Oh, and I'd like to check their bank accounts too after that. Hey, we'll not only grant you immunity for some bullshit Trump charges, but we'll also fatten that bank account of yours if you testify against Donald Trump. Oh, this is bad, you guys. This is really bad. This is juror misconduct like a motherfucker.
How many people came into the room to testify with immunity deals already in place?
Maybe a dozen.
Wow. Maybe a dozen? Fucking inbred. This bitch looks like she's on meth and she's been a product of incest. I'll say it again.
In a series of interviews today, Coors also told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that the panel heard more recordings of Trump phone calls. That is, in addition to his infamous call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, asking him to, quote, find 11,000 votes.
And he didn't.
This is what Coors said about those calls. We heard a lot of recordings of President Trump on the phone, declining to give specifics. It is amazing how many hours of footage you can find of that man on the phone. Some of these that were privately recorded by people or recorded by a staffer. Now, this is a person who volunteered to be the forewoman of the special grand jury, but did not vote in 2016. She did not vote in 2020. In fact, she told the...
Yeah, no, she didn't vote once. She voted about 10 times for Biden. Yeah, bullshit. She volunteered to be on the special grand jury. Me, pick me. I hate Trump more than any of you. I'm a special witch. I could put a spell on him. Let me swear him in. Ooh, and let me tell all of the media. This is getting oh my God. This can't be real. This can't be fucking real. I'm living in a fucking, this is retarded.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution that she has never voted
She's
before,
A without
period.
the I.
And until the grand jury proceedings, Coors had never heard the infamous call between Donald Trump and Brad Raffensperger. So getting inside her head to try and understand what she means by things like, I would not expect you to be too shocked when it comes to the indictments, or what might be a giant plot twist in this person's mind, or what might not be, that is all very complicated. Because in addition to all the things I just recapped, Emily Coors also said things like this.
Oh,
my coolest moment was shaking Rudy Giuliani's hand. That was really cool for me. I made a point of stopping them and being like, wait, before we go back to this, can I shake your hand? Because this is an honor to meet the guy. It was really neat for me.
Uh-huh. You're full of shit. You know, Rudy Giuliani was a really good mayor, actually. So, does he have immunity? I just want to know, was he one of those 12 people that testified that was given immunity? Let me shake your hand before this is all over. Thank you, sir. Thank you for selling out Trump. Doesn't matter. The truth will always win. And Trump, you think he's got shitty lawyers? He's got the best of the best. My only question is, how's come they've indicted Trump, but nobody from the Epstein list? How come? No? Any indictments on Hunter Biden from his laptop? No? Nothing? Oh, okay. Just wondering.
Okay. What we have in these interviews is a window into the thought process of a special grand jury that heard evidence in perhaps the most legally perilous investigation of a former president in American history.
What? I can't even listen to MSNBC anymore. I lost like 10 fucking brain cells just in that segment alone. 6 minutes, 24 seconds of nothing but bullshit and hooey. Hooey and bullshit is the same fucking thing, but you get what I mean. Let's see this bitch again, man. I don't know if I can stand a few. I don't even know. This she goes on for 10 minutes. This is only 2 minutes.
The forewoman of the grand jury investigating Donald Trump finds herself under fire today.
Why hasn't she been fired? I don't understand why she's still allowed to go on there. Why? I like Inside Edition. I was on there, you guys. Did you know that? Oh my God, it's crazy.
Emily Coors just wrapped up an 8-month investigation into alleged election interference by Trump and his cronies in Georgia.
Trump and his cronies in Georgia. I don't like Inside Edition anymore. In fact, I'm going to ask them to take me the fuck off their shit, or I'm going to sue them.
So why is she speaking out? Grand jury proceedings are usually kept secret.
Did you recommend charges against Donald Trump?
I really don't want to share something that the judge made a conscious decision not to share. I will say that
we're too late, bitch.
When this list comes out, there are no major plot twists waiting for you.
She giggles nervously and bats her eyelashes, trying.
Ew, fucking ew, man. Look at this fucking inbred bitch. God, I'm sorry, man. She is fucking dog ugly, man.
Trying hard not to say something she shouldn't.
People are going to hear that and they're going to think that means that Donald Trump is definitely
my brother's my uncle.
I know it's delicate, but can you speak to that?
I can't. Well, I might be able to, according to instructions, but I don't want to.
This is a horrible idea, and I guarantee you that prosecutors are wincing watching her go on this.
Some say Trump's lawyers could use the forewoman's interview to get any charges against him thrown out.
Told you, bitch! I can't even watch CNN, you guys. It's like a mortal sin, man. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. You guys have done your due diligence in dividing America, and I think it's fucked up, and it's not okay because every American is suffering today. And these people think that Biden is going to be the big white hope, the big white savior. Well, has he? How's everybody doing out there? Honestly, how are you doing financially? How is your 401ks? How is your IRAs? How are your bank accounts right now? How's your utility bills right now? How is immigration right now? How is unemployment right now? Well, people can't. The unemployment's pretty low. You know why? Because people got to work 2 to 3 jobs just to put food on their tables and to keep their lights on and to keep their homes warm. Sick. I don't know, you guys. I just feel like I should see what's going on Twitter real quick. Let's see. Nice try. Let me know when the count is official. I'll have to look at this. 78 indictments, and I like this Farce News channel. Let me know when the count is official. I'll have to update this meme. Oh, this is bad, you guys. This is bad. This is pretty bad. God, I wish I had small boobs. Well, no, I don't. I bought these and I love them. Just kidding. Stephen Bannon gets court date in bid to avoid prison over his January 6th. Tucker Carlson just talked to
Steve Bannon's bid to stay out of prison.
God damn it, I just want to... Oops, I'm so sorry, Jesus. Please don't. I'm a work in progress, remember that. I'm catching myself, you guys. Tucker Carlson just spoke with the police chief of D.C. Capitol Police. Wasn't good. I mean, it was good that Tucker Carlson talked to him. It was bad for the people that are saying that January 6th was this violent insurrection. No, it was a Fedsurrection. It was all planned. The police chief, right? He's the police chief. They didn't even want to talk to him. The January 6th committee didn't even want to talk to him. So he wrote a book. I need that book. I want to pull it up real quick, you guys. I like Tucker. You know, I can honestly say I'd vote for him. I think he's us. So look at this guy, RFK Jr. He was denied Secret Service detail because he's speaking out against the woke agenda. I think it's important to hear what RFK Jr. has to say.
And particularly people who are polling around anywhere
Sorry, dude.
over 15%, which I have been for 4 or 5 months now, are regarded as it's been treated as pro forma. And I am the outlier. I'm the single outliner that we could find that was denied Secret Service protection.
Why do you think that is?
I think I think the DNC is playing hardball, and let's say this: I think the least malevolent interpretation that you can put on it is that they know that I'm going to have some kind of security service, and that typically would cost me, to do real security service between $100,000 and $200,000 a month. Because you have to pay the protectors, you have to pay for their transportation,
of course,
you have
hotels,
to pay for the cars and the hotels, the foods, and all of this. And it's very expensive because I'm traveling every day. So I think they probably feel like they can bleed me white by, and making sure that I'm not spending that money on advertising or organization, but that I have to raise a lot of money or my own protection. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating about it.
No need to speculate. He's a Kennedy. They hope that he gets the Kennedy treatment because just like JFK, this isn't John F. Kennedy's son. I think this is Bobby Kennedy's son, if I'm not mistaken. Just like John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy, they were dead set against like the neoliberalism, socialism that is disguised, well, communism that is disguised as socialism. They were very against that. They were very Americana, a great family, right? And RFK is not like they are. So to deny him Secret Service detail when all of our money is going over to Ukraine, I would say my tax dollars can go to protect RFK. I don't want to see the man get the same treatment as Bobby Kennedy or John F. Kennedy. It's not fair. It's scary. He's a Kennedy. He's a marked man. He was a marked man from the time he was born. Now, I don't fully trust him yet because one Democrat is not going to be able to fix them all. A lot of them have been spoiled, and a lot of them have been paid off and bought off by all of the wrong people. I think he should run Republican. I'm sorry, I think he should. I think that people would rally behind him even more so if he did. But they, here it is. This is very shocking.
You've described this as an intelligence failure, but a failure is something that happens accidentally.
None of the intelligence that was coming up talking about the storming of the Capitol, killing members of Congress, or killing my police officers was ever discussed at the conference calls that I was on, at least.
That doesn't seem to make sense at all.
It doesn't make sense. I'm looking at my men and women having their asses handed to them, and my first thought was, fuck it, I will take whatever discipline there is.
Once things got out of control, for 71 minutes, Pelosi refused to allow you to bring in the National Guard. Why don't we have answers?
It doesn't seem like people really want to get to the bottom of it, and it gets worse from there. I had a conference call with the leaders of all the law enforcement. It was a call I coordinated. Not one person on that call talked about any concerns for the intelligence, the attack on the Capitol that we were seeing that was out there. That's what's scary.
This sounds like a setup to me. I'm sorry, it does.
New Jersey State Police beat DC National Guard to the Capitol.
Wait, cops drove from New Jersey before the National Guard could get from the Armory on Capitol Hill to the Capitol? What?
Ain't that something? So, did you hear what he said? Did you hear that? Everything else before was pretty shocking in itself. Well, we all already knew, but we were called conspiracy theorists. We were blocked on YouTube. We were hit with community guideline strikes. We were told to adjust our tinfoil hats. And then he proceeds to say, cops all the way from fucking New Jersey got down to the Capitol before the National Guard did, as if they were held back by some unseen force that likes gin and martinis way too much, if you ask me. So the National Guard is held back, and the New Jersey police are able to drive all the way down to DC and make it there before the National Guard does? When Trump had been asking for the National Guard before January 6th. But they didn't want you to see that. They wanted to take him off of Twitter. I think Elon Musk did a great thing by releasing and letting Trump have his account back, because those tweets are still up there to this day. You know why they're charging him, right? They're saying that he didn't sternly enough tell people to go home. I'm sorry, but he said go home, please. Be peaceful. Go home. We will investigate this. Be peaceful a couple of times. You know, I watched that whole January 6th speech with Donald Trump. Every single minute of it. Never once did he say to storm the Capitol, but Ray Epps did numerous times. Caught on camera. Not only is he taken off the FBI's most wanted list, he was number 14. No charges. Oh, they say they're going to charge him now. I won't hold my breath, because if I do, I'll die. Yeah. But this is the police chief, right? And I find it remarkably questionable that Nancy Pelosi had a documentary crew there, that she openly threatened a United States president and was able to get away with that scot-free. Her daughter was there with, her daughter was the one filming. I'm going to do this whole interview with Tucker and this man. I forget what his name, Son, I think his last name is. Stephen Son. I'll be doing this whole thing on Rumble either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I think it's absolutely something that we have to look into and right these wrongs, you guys. These are a lot of wrongs that have been righted. Tucker comes over here on this was at the
Pay
time.
attention in the tape we're showing you to the woman wearing
question that ballot was.
Okay, this was at the time, right? And I shared a bunch of stuff on my Twitter feed of election workers ripping up Donald Trump ballots and everything, right? Nobody gets arrested. Why is that? I'm sorry, but if I'm going to commit a federal offense, I'm not going to record it and put it all over TikTok. It's just something that I'm not stupid enough to do. But these people did. Okay, let's see this video really quickly, you guys. This is Tucker Carlson. This is what happened right after the election. I think it's important for all of us to see it again.
Question that ballot was counted twice.
So what's the explanation for this? Well, if you ask Fulton County, these discrepancies, the ones you just saw on the screen, were isolated incidents. Just a handful of bad ballots. Happens all the time. The county claims that any errors were caught in previous recounts. The problem is that neither one of those claims is true. Surveillance footage obtained by Voter GA appears to show large numbers of ballots being scanned multiple times. Pay attention in the tape we're showing you to the woman wearing yellow at the desk. According to Voter GA, she slides ballots into a scanning machine, removes the ballots, and then reinserts the same ballots. This happens multiple times. The question is, how many times were those ballots counted? Was each vote counted more than once? Fulton County won't answer that question. Now, one way to know the answer would be to check what are called audit tally sheets. Tellingly, for months after the presidential election, Fulton County failed to provide more than 100,000 of those tally sheets, including 50,000 of them for mail-in ballots. When Voter GA finally forced Fulton County to turn over the tally sheets, the conclusion was stunning. Here's what the audit found. Quote, 7 falsified audit tally sheets containing fabricated vote totals. For example, a batch containing 59 actual ballot images for Joe Biden and 42 for Donald Trump was reported as 100 for Biden and 0 for Trump. The 7 batches of ballot images with 554 votes for Joe Biden, 140 votes for Donald Trump, and 11 votes for Joe Jorgensen had tally sheets in the audit falsified to show 850 votes for Biden, 0 votes for Trump, and 0 votes for Jorgensen.
Oh my God. Look, man. A lot of people are going to hell. A lot. And it's almost as if I want to be bad and misbehave and do some dirty shit, right? So I can meet them there and look them in the eyes and say, you fucking deserve to be here. I purposefully did shit just so I can look you in your eyes, you sorry sack of shits. This is not American. This is not how we do things. We don't fucking lie. We don't cheat. We don't fucking steal. What you guys do. That's absolutely atrocious. That's atrocious. Look at all this, man. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
0 votes for Trump and 0 votes for Jorgensen.
Okay.
Wait, did you just follow that?
Yes.
How is that not flat-out criminal fraud? We'd love to know, because it certainly sounds like flat-out criminal fraud.
It sounds to me like they are charging Donald Trump with what they did. They're going, don't look at me over here. We're going to just blame it all on Trump. I think the blaming everything on Trump has not ended. This is sad. This is crazy. I think they should be charged with criminal conspiracy. I think they should be charged with election fraud. Yes. Uh-oh, here's a special Clark County.
Just just heard from an entire room of people about how invalid this election was, how they were announced that they were Republicans, sent to different boxes, how nothing mattered, how all these mail-in, you just heard all this fraud, undeniable, completely illegal election. And then the guy we think that did everything, that rigged it, stands up and says, no, I'm fine, everything's good, everything's kosher. And they're like, okay. And without discussion, you certified it. And then you laughed at us as a room of your own constituents got angry about it. Wow. So, you know, we've been catching testimony the whole time from people so that we can sue you, just so you know. And we weren't just imagining fraud. We have video, we have pictures, we have testimony from poll watchers. So enjoy getting dragged through the media for the scumbags you are.
Fucking yeah. I love her. Did you see her shirt, though? Did you see her shirt? I saw what you did with those ballots, and it's a picture of Jesus going. I saw what you did with those ballots. Damn. I love her. And this was in Nevada. There are people in all states, even one of the most corrupt, Arizona, coming out and saying the same thing. And they were looked at and told to shut up. Your voices don't matter. We're just going to take this guy's word over here that told people to do all of this. And we're just going to certify this election really quickly. Let's do that. My God, man, this is bad, bad, bad. This was, I believe, the Carrie Lake thing. I have to
question that ballot was counted twice.
The errors were caught.
So that ballot for Fani Willis was counted twice. Now we all know how she got her job. Yeah. This is bad. This is really bad. All right, you guys. Keep your head on straight. You know, I've tried to be my best version of myself and say, let's not stoop down to their level, but I think they deserve it. I think they honestly deserve us to act the same way that they did. I think we need to not only fight fire with fire, I think we should collectively stand up and demand better, that we deserve better. We are tax-paying Americans. We have rights. And they're trampling all over them. All I ask you guys, don't get in trouble. Don't do anything stupid. The time of reckoning is coming. Civil war is probably coming. And I wish you all the best. God don't like ugly, and the truth shall always prevail. All right, guys. Much love to you guys. Stay safe.